Hi guys, welcome to another day. My name is Obinjeo. Today's video we're going to be talking about the traditional practices that have been observed here in Ghana. So just in case you're coming into Ghana, to live here for a while, or you're coming in here as a tourist, you need to know these practices that have been observed here so that you can also learn to put it into practice or put it into place when the opportunity does arrive for you. Remember, they say when you go to Rome, behave as Romans, and that is also applicable here. Now I know that wherever it is that you're coming from, you guys obviously have your own practices that you observe there, but then again, you are not going to be in your hometown or in your country. You are coming to the country called Ghana, and you would need to know these practices so that you can know how to interact, socialize, or even associate with the locals of this country so that your time here will be well spent. So guys, if you want to know what those practices are, I will be right back. So guys, you're welcome back, and I said we're going to be talking about the practices that have been observed here in Ghana. And honestly, there are a number of practices that have been observed here, traditional practices, and some of these practices are cut across quite a number of African countries. I do not know about the Western country, but whatever the case is, like I said, there are some that have been practiced among other West African countries or even Africa in general, but there will be some that might be alien to you. So as a rule of thumb, you should try as much as possible to be polite to the locals of this country. You would need to or be respectful of their traditional beliefs and all of that. But we are going to be starting the video with the social etiquette of the traditional practices that have been observed here in Ghana. One of those social etiquette or etiquette practices that you would need to observe here is in terms of greeting people. Here in Ghana, it's not big thing that you cannot observe. You just need to learn to greet people. You learn to greet your neighbors. You learn to greet people that you come across. And the greeting here is good morning, fine morning, or you could learn the local way of greeting people, which is etisen. Also, you need to learn to address people by their titles, going by Mr., Mrs., Miss, whichever one is appropriate for the individual in question. Another practice that is very, very important for you to know or observe when you come here to Ghana is that you need to have respect for elders. So this is not a place whereby you come and you do not respect elders, okay? So Ghana is one of those African countries that are big on respect for elders. In cases like I talked about greetings, of course, you'd have to respect your elders, and in ways that you can show it is in greeting. Also, you should mind the tone at which you use to speak with them. You don't talk to your elders and you're shouting or you're raising your voice, all of those things that are sign of rudeness or impoliteness. So you'd have to show respect for your elders in terms of greeting. And another thing that you need to observe again is that you need to show the appropriate greetings or respect in terms of greetings for your elders or even for others by bowing to them when you greet. For instance, you're greeting an elder and you're saying good morning sir, you would have to show the respect of bowing, not that you're greeting the person and you're looking straight into the eyes and saying good morning sir. You would bow, and for the ladies, you genuflect. You get what I'm saying? So you would have to have respect for your elders in terms of greeting them the appropriate way by bowing and genuflecting for them. Another traditional practice that you need to observe here is in sense of dressing. So Ghana is kind of big on indecent dressing. They would want you to dress by covering up your body parts as a lady, and of course as a man you shouldn't wear outfits that are not associated with men. Now let's go back to the dressing that has to do with women. They would love that you observe the practice of them covering up their body parts, covering their shoulders, and of course wearing gowns that are below the knee, and other ways of covering intimate parts of your body. So if you're coming here, it would only be nice that you also join in observing that practice of having a very decent and appropriate dressing. So let's look at the practices that have been observed in areas of traditional practices, or all of those things that have been associated with traditional practices. When you go to sacred homes or traditional homes, or places of that sort of nature, it is expected that you take off your shoes before you get into the place. So let's assume that as a tourist, you come to Ghana, and there's this sacred home or traditional home that you're going to. I mean, we do have those places here in Ghana. You have to follow suit with what the locals are doing, and in most cases they usually take off their shoes before they proceed into the sacred home. So you need to observe that practice of taking off your shoes, because that is what is obtainable in the area at that place. One other practice that is being observed here is eating with your right hand. You are not expected to eat with your left hand. They consider it a rude and impolite behavior. So when you're eating food, you need to eat with your right hand, and of course this is your right hand. So whatever food it is you are eating, whether you are eating it with your hand or you are using cutleries, you need to use your right hand to eat the food. The reason is because, like I said, the left hand here traditionally is considered to be an unclean hand. It is considered to be the hand that you use to take care of yourself when you're cleaning yourself from behind, and all of that thing. So they look at it as an unclean hand, and if something is unclean, why do you use it to eat? So you have to observe that practice of eating with your right hand and not the left hand. One other practice that you would need to observe is no public display of affection. PDAs are not accepted in the open, okay, in public places here in Ghana. And I'm talking about kissing, hugging, and anything that is a public display of affection. Now they get it that you definitely have that significant other that you want to give all your affections, but they want you to observe the practice that they are observing here by not displaying those characters or whatever it is in public. You can do it behind closed doors. I mean, that is your private quarters, but when you bring it into the public, it's being frowned on. So if you're coming here as a tourist, or you're coming here to live here for a couple of years or even months, you should know that PDAs are frowned at. So let's move to the taboos. I mean, taboos are a thing with African countries, and there are a number of taboos here that Ghana is, hell-bent on, you observing the practices that are attributed to those taboos. So one of those taboos that you need to observe is that they do not, take it kindly or lightly when you point at someone with your index fingers. Oftentimes you could be talking to someone or talking about someone, and if for whatever reason that person seems to be around the corner and you're pointing at the person, it's frowned out. They believe that you shouldn't point your index finger at the person. Rather, if you'd want to talk about someone who is is there, or you are talking with someone and you have to make that gesture with your hand, rather you can use your hand like this, or you could use your thumb like this. But that you use your finger, it's a no. Your index finger, rather, it's a no. And they feel that spiritually it's not right pointing at someone. So you could do like this, or you could so you need to know these and also observe it whenever possible. One other taboo that is frowned at here is touching the head of an individual. So this is one taboo that Ghana also doesn't take lightly. They believe that the head of an individual is the sacred part of the human being. So you touching the head is a no. So I think they look at it that you are stealing the glory of the person by touching the forehead, or the head rather, or you might be inflicting some kind of spiritual, stuff in quote, which they are not okay with. So it is a practice here, and it is well known that when you're talking with someone and for whatever reasons you need to touch the person, avoid the head of the person. And that is a practice that you also would need to, observe. I've, seen a case whereby someone talked to a little child and, just, carelessly touched the head of the child, and the parents were angry because they said you'd want to steal the glory of the child, or you are inflicting some kind of illness, or all those kind of things on the child. So it's something that you need to observe here. You have to take a cue from the locals here and also put it into practice. Do not touch the head of an individual, whether an adult or a child or even a baby in question. It is frowned at. So I also talked about eating with your left hand, which is frowned on. Also, when you look at it from the taboos, things that are, not acceptables, which are taboo, is also the eating with your left hand. If you're eating with your left hand, they look at it as a taboo, which signifies something dangerous, and of course they wouldn't want you to bring any kind of danger or whatsoever into the society or into the community where you might find yourself. So it's a taboo which you must avoid. So that is that for that. So let's go to festivals and traditional practices or whatever here. There are traditional, practices or festivals that take place here in Ghana. And honestly speaking, if you come to Ghana here as a foreigner, it is, common knowledge that if a festival or a traditional practice is taking place, you should also join the locals and celebrate, participate in the festival or whatever it is. And one of those festivals that can readily come to mind is the Homowo festival that usually takes place here in Ghana, or there is there's another festival which at the moment my mind can pick the name, which usually takes place in Accra, the Greater Accra region. So as a foreigner here, it is only normal that you join and celebrate or participate with them in the festival. After all, you are here and you are here to enjoy and make the most of your time. So join them and celebrate, because it is a thing of pride and esteem to the locals of the country. And if you're coming into the country, they want you to also have that feeling of excitement by participating with them in the festival. So guys, these are just but a few of the traditional practices that are being observed here in Ghana. If I did miss anyone, please leave it for me in the comments so that others could also learn about them. When coming to Ghana, they know that they have to observe and also practice them. But in as much as it is, like I said in the beginning of this video, as a rule of thumb for anyone who is coming to Ghana, you need to be respectful, irrespective of the gender of the person in question. And also, elders, you have to pay a special attention to respect for the elders, because Ghana is one of those countries in Africa that are so big on respect for elders. So you who is coming here, you have to have that in mind, and everything will be fine for you. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget that you can subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notification, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you another day. Bye.